Hey, this is Double R. I wanted to tell you that Anchor by Spotify is a great and easy way to make a podcast with everything you need and all in one place. Anchor has the tools to allow you to record, edit your podcast straight from your phone or your computer. When hosting with Anchor, you can distribute your podcast to all listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Best of all, it's totally free. So go down the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. This is the Let's Roll Podcast with your host, Double R. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Double R, the host of Rose and Most, and this is the Let's Roll Podcast. And this episode is going to be the first of many. We're going to call this Let's Roll Weekly, where we go back to and look over the past week and what's going on in the world and briefly touch on different things that are going on and just kind of give you a overlook of the previous week. And we're going to do this weekly. This will be the first episode. And so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to bring up news stories on my laptop in front of me and just kind of look over and let's talk about what's going on in the world. And instead of just having one episode on one specific topic, we're just going to talk in general. And we're going to do all that right after this. So, this past week, we had, the big story was the mass shooting in Texas. I said it a while ago and I can't say it now. Anyway, we had the mass shooting in Texas, and of course, we've already done a big, long episode, bonus episode I did with a friend, and we briefly talked about, all the issues around the shooting. What I learned after that episode is that the police don't have their shit together. The authorities didn't have their stuff together, and there is a lot of controversial things surrounding that because the police kind of didn't go inside like previously reported, or before. It was reported that the gunman was approached by one security police officer guarding the school, and nothing really happened to that. And that the shooter went around and went into the back, and that's when he ended up shooting everybody he shot. Well, now it's reported that that never happened, and that the authorities and police and the special unit that they had, the government had put in place, basically was outside, not going in for whatever reason. I don't know all of it. I just kind of briefly saw that, but that's the big story right now. The investigation and the information was not reported correctly. Well, say not reported, just not given correctly, and made a lot of people look bad. The other thing on top of that is the NRA starts having, has their big national convention or whatever in Texas, and, everybody's up in arms on that because the governor, the president, former President Donald Trump and Ted Cruz and all them were going to make an appearance, and they're going to promote guns. Let's be honest. Let's look at it the way it is. They're supporting the gun lobbyists. They're supporting all of that. And instead of using that platform to go in there and say, look, guys, we just have this, or we keep having this, and we need to come together as responsible gun owners and come up with some ideas and solutions and be behind it instead of not being behind it. Instead of just being behind the fact that you want to own a gun. So I don't want to harp on that more than I've already have, but that's one thing that's happened in the news. And that's pretty much like the big thing right now. The other big thing going on right now is the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. And man, that is like a reality show by itself. I haven't followed it that well to give you really anything about it other than I know Johnny Depp is suing Amber Heard for defamation because she wrote an article and basically said all this stuff like, she claims of spousal abuse and blah, blah, blah. And at first, it was funny because I believe their divorce or whatever happened in London. And during that deal, they found in favor of Amber Heard and said that there was enough evidence to say, yes, Johnny Depp abused spousal abuse towards Amber. Well, then, when they get over here in the States and she does a sit-down interview and spills more of what supposedly went on, Johnny's like, nope, enough of that. I'm going to take you to court. And so now we're seeing firsthand how sad this situation is, for one. But I think Amber Heard thought she was going to walk in and win this, have that sympathy that she found and that judgment that she found, I think, in London. Again, I don't quote me for sure on that, but basically. And she is finding out, like, oh, you're getting called out on a bunch of things that don't add up. And man, the way she is cross-examined and stuff. And I just saw a video a while ago where supposedly her lawyer, one of her lawyers, admits during questioning her, I believe, I'm doing the best I can. When you know your lawyer says something like that during the trial, like out loud where everybody can hear it, you know you're losing. So that's what's been going on, and people are all, what side are you on? I don't really necessarily take either one of their sides, but if you told me I had to pick one right now, I'm probably going to take Johnny's side just because what I've seen of her on YouTube. She don't look good. She don't look like she knows. Not knows, but she's not coming across very, very good. Man, there's a bunch of lawsuits going against Trump right now. New York Attorney General. Trump, like every day, Trump just looks worse and worse to me. I'm not going to go into all that because it's just, I had 4 years of that. I'm ready for that to go away. Let's see what happened let's find out what's going on in entertainment news. And we'll do that right after this. So while I'm looking up, let's see. We'll just go here. So let's look up entertainment news here. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the new Star Wars series, came out on Disney Plus this past week. It dropped for Disney Celebration kind of early, and it looks really good. I watched both the first 2 episodes. I think it's good. I don't get deep into the lore or all of Star Wars. I grew up on the 3 originals. I saw the prequels, and then I saw the 3 sequels. So I like as far as like getting into each series and going, oh, I know that character, I know that. No. And I just watch things if they're entertaining. I don't nitpick at, I'm not one of these that can nitpick at quality or, if it's bad, it's bad, obviously. But for the most part, if it's entertaining, it kept my attention, and I enjoyed it, then, hey, I liked it. It was great. I don't get into the technical stuff about it. Also, Ray Liotta, I said that right, he passed away. Star of Goodfellas, also voice actor on GTA Vice City. Sad to see that happening. We also had Stranger Things come out. This the fourth season of Stranger Things. I started to watch that, but I haven't really got back on that yet. Let's see, what else is going on? Man, CW is they're going to be sold, and the new president Time Warner, Discovery bought Time Warner, and so now it's the Time Warner Discovery, I believe. And the CEO of that is like dropping axes everywhere. Speaking of CW or WB or the DC, going back to Johnny and Amber Heard, there's a lot of people who want Amber Heard out of the Aquaman movie, and I believe it's been reported that she's been cut down, not necessarily out, but just cut down. Like the presence of her in the movie is cut way down. And then good old Ezra Miller is really screwing up the Flash because of his personal antics outside in his public life. And so that's happening. And then, like I said, the new CEO has canceled a bunch of CW shows, and they're getting ready to put that channel, if not, I'm assuming it's already up for sale, but they want to sell the CW, and whoever buys that, right now, I think the front runner is a company that's going to do kind of like a news type channel. So they're not going to run any kind of necessarily TV shows or even new TV shows, I believe. So a lot of the DC and Arrowverse shows got canceled. We still got The Flash, and we still have Superman and Lois, but pretty much everything else is gone. You'll probably be able to find those probably on Netflix or HBO Max eventually. So a lot of other shows got not shows but movies. There was a potential project for the Wonder Twins, DC Wonder Twins, and that got canceled. Let's flip over to MC, and man, the MC had just came off of the Moonlight Disney Plus series, which was pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't know that much about Moonlight. And so I didn't have, when you don't know a lot about something, then it's hard to say, well, is that accurate? Is that the way that should have been? So I didn't really have that pre-notion of what I should expect. So, but it was a good show. And then we had, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and that was really good. It didn't really, it kind of followed from Spider-Man, the Spider-Man movie, but not really. At least not that there wasn't, to me, there wasn't a direct connection, but it kind of fell in the same line, along the same lines that because of what Doctor Strange did in Spider-Man, it affected this movie. So that was pretty good. I didn't like some of the choices in the movie. I didn't like the fact that you're going to have the Illuminati show up and then just, well, if you haven't seen it, go out and watch it. You'll know what I'm talking about. But so we got that. And then we've gotten a trailer recently for the She-Hulk TV series on Disney Plus. Looks pretty good. I'll watch it. I've always been a big fan of the Hulk, even back when the original Credible Hulk TV series was around. I remember not too long, probably a year or two ago, I started to go back and watch old episodes of that. And every time I go back and watch a really old TV series, at least I say old for me. Like, I'm not talking like black and white type TV series, but I'm talking like stuff that I grew up on, like Knight Rider, The Incredible Hulk, and stuff like that. Sometimes I just go, man, I really thought this was cool, and this is kind of cheesy, but I still enjoy it. So we got the She-Hulk coming out. We got Miss Marvel coming out, and we also have a bunch of other projects. Oh, we also heard that Daredevil is going to get his own series, and they're saying it's going to be picking up where the Netflix series left off, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see what else we got going on, man. Elon Musk trying to buy Twitter and made its big announcement. I think it was like $44 million or $1 billion or something like that, and everybody started getting up in arms. Oh my God! He's gonna let everybody back on, because he wants freedom of speech. Well, now the last that was reported, it's being put on hold. And then he comes out and says that he's going back to, or not going back, but he's going to switch to the Republican Party. So I don't really know what his political stance are, but, whatever. Let's talk about WWE too. So WWE just made 2 of their stars look really bad, but you could also say, well, did the stars bring it on to themselves? Well, like I always like to say is there's consequences to your actions, and even if you feel like what you're doing is right, and from what I could tell, this was the right thing to do. You do have consequences, so you better be ready to deal with those. So what I'm talking about is Sasha Banks and Naomi from the WWE. They were the women's tag team champions. Felt disrespected, and they were put into a match that they didn't believe they should be put into. And you can read about it online. I'm not going to give it the specifics, but just generally saying that they felt like they were backed into a corner, and they've had enough with all this, we'll say, non-consistent storylines going on. And they basically went in and put their belts on the table and said, "We're out," and left during a Raw taping. And instead of WWE handling it behind the scenes, they just threw them under the bus, and that's not looking good now. So that's what's been going on for the last week or so. I'm sure there's a lot more going on that we haven't even talked about, and I would talk about sports, but I don't really pay attention to sports anymore. But that's what the Let's Roll Weekly is going to be basically about. It's going to be, an episode no longer than anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, kind of recapping what's going on. If I happen to have a guest the day that I record it, then me and the guest can sit down and talk about all the different things that are going on. And so the next one of these will be dropping next week. I haven't decided what day I'm going to drop it, but I'm probably going to drop it. I'm probably going to drop them on Monday, unless I have some other episodes that I have to drop on a specific day, like if it's a special occasion or whatever. But this one will be dropped probably Monday evening. So we'll just say 6 o'clock Central Standard Time on Monday is when these episodes will drop. And this is going to be the Let's Roll Weekly. And as always, until next time, let's roll.
Hey, this is T Rich, and you listen to the Let's Roll podcast with Double R. Make sure you follow us on all social media. Find the links in the description below or at the letsrollpodcast.com.